Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video day, and today we're going to be talking about why Ronel Blanco will become a star for the Houston Astros. After Blanco's no-hitter yesterday against the Toronto Blue Jays, going 9 innings, of course, giving up 0 hits, of course, with 7 strikeouts, giving up only 2 walks, was so close to a perfect game. We're going to talk about, why I think he's going to become a star for the Astros. And, it's going to be hard just because of the fact that, I think there's a really good chance he stays as starting pitcher for the Astros, but you look at all the starting pitchers for the Astros and, how deep will you go? I think you might, with especially with what we just saw from Ronel Blanco, you might have to go to a 6-man. Thinking about when everybody's healthy, right? Justin Verlander. All right, Justin Verlander's healthy. Javier Valdez, Hunter Brown's not getting removed from the rotation because he in his first start he looked great. Luis Garcia's healthy. We're saying Luis Garcia's healthy, and then you got Ronel Blanco. With what we saw from him in his first outing, he should be a starter. But then you have guys like Jose Urquidy and Lance McCullers Jr. and J.P. France. They're not starters anymore, and a couple of those guys, I think it'd be to the point where J.P. France would maybe have to go back to AAA, and then you'd see Lance McCullers Jr., Jose Urquidy, go to the bullpen, which wouldn't be terrible for them. I mean, would give the Astros some guys that can give them some long innings from the pen, but I think with what we saw from Ronel Blanco last night, in his no-hitter, and then what we saw from him in spring, I think if around 2 or 3 starts, if he's still playing really well, he should be a starter permanently for the Houston Astros. And I want to say something. I see this all the time. I see people saying, "What has Dana Brown done for the Houston Astros? What has he done?" People go crazy on Dana Brown. They judge him a lot as a GM. And I'm just here to tell everybody that you would have never saw the no-hitter last night. You would never even see Ronel Blanco as a starting pitcher if it wasn't for Dana Brown. Dana Brown was hired as the Astros general manager, and he came in to the Astros organization and looked at this guy, Ronel Blanco, as a relief pitcher who only had 2 pitches, a fastball. He had a fastball and he had a slider. And he looked at him and he said, "Why is this guy not a starter?" Now, it's hard to be a starter when you only have 2 pitches, so he had to add a 3rd pitch. So he added the changeup, which we saw him throw. He was dominant with the changeup last night against the Blue Jays, where 7 out of all 7 of his strikeouts were with the changeup. He was dominant. He even dominated a guy like Vlad Guerrero with the changeup pitch, striking him out a couple times with that changeup pitch. And so Dana Brown basically made Ronel Blanco a starter. He wanted to try it out. They tried it out. Now he needed to add that 3rd pitch. He added the changeup. This is actually an interesting fact. Ronel Blanco in the 2023 season in his 17 games of 52 innings pitched with a 4.50 ERA, only throwing 52 strikeouts in those 17 games. Only threw that changeup 9% of his pitches. He rarely threw the changeup. And now, with the Astros, he's throwing that changeup, and he's perfected it. And he dominated the Blue Jays last night throwing that pitch. And watching him play and watching him pitch for the Astros, he is something special. He's young. It's really special to watch, how the Astros, have really developed him as a pitcher, and I think he has something. I think he has what it takes to become something special with the Astros. Now, I just think he's on the hard thing is I think he's on a team where there are so many starting pitchers. I know right now you got some guys injured, but we know JV is going to be back soon. It's not in the matter of months. It's in the matter of days or possibly weeks. Justin Verlander is going to make it as far as to make a rehab assignment this week. Later this week, we could see JV make a rehab assignment with the Space Cowboys. And then maybe a week later, you could see him back with the Astros making his first start of the season. So JV's going to be back soon. You have Fromber and Javier and Hunter Brown, guys that are healthy right now. And then Ronel Blanco. And then you got the three guys that are injured currently, Lance, Luis, and also Lance. You have Lance, Luis, and Jose. One of those guys, if you're going to do a 6-man rotation, then one of those guys out of Luis, Lance, and Jose can get added to the rotation. It'd obviously be Luis. But something tells me that the Astros would want Lance McCullers to be a starter. So then you kind of see Ronel Blanco get out of the rotation. But I really don't want to see that happen. I really want to see him continue as a starter in this rotation because from not only what I saw from him last night, this is just not a 1-game sample. I saw him dominate in spring training. I watched him go up against our Space Cowboys, the AAA team, and I know this is going up against a AAA team, but keep in mind this is a team that he was recently just playing with. I mean, this is the level he was just at AAA before he became fully with the Astros. 4 innings, not 4 and 2/3 or 1/3, just 4 innings. Only gave up 1 run, 10 strikeouts, and this gets even better. That morning of that game, that day, him and his wife had a baby. So he had to deal with all. He was dealing with stuff off the field, and he went out there in 4 innings and got 10 strikeouts. Only gave up 1 run. So he's been dominant. He was dominant in the spring going up against real teams like the real teams we were facing. He was doing good there. Didn't give up a single run in spring. Before I think he had it was like 5 or 6 starts. I think it was, maybe it was more. It was like I think he had like 5 or 6 starts in spring, and 0 runs were given up. So the only run he's given up in spring training or in the regular season or this matchup against the Space Cowboys is 1 home run to Quincy Hamilton in the game against the Space Cowboys where he had 10 strikeouts in 4 innings. So he's been dominant, and I think if the Astros keep him in the rotation, he can become a star for the Astros. But now the hard part is how can you keep him in a rotation, which will be really hard to keep him in a rotation when guys like Justin Verlander, Lance McCullers, and Luis Garcia are healthy. But to be fair, I talk about Lance and Luis. They will not be back for a while. JV will be back soon. JV will be back in a week or 2. So that's very soon. But you won't see guys like Luis and Lance back until July, August. So Ronel, I don't think anybody's really worried about those two coming back and stealing his spot right now. But then you got to worry about Justin. So I think pretty soon Dana Brown and Joe Espada have to be thinking about, are we going to go to a 6-man rotation? We got a 5-man rotation right now. Do we potentially maybe move J.P. France to the bullpen and then have our pitching rotation be JV, Fromber, Javier, Hunter Brown, and Blanco, and that's our 5-man rotation? Or do we just do the 5-man rotation I just said and then add J.P. France as a 6th starter? I think conversations have to be rolling after what we saw from Ronel Blanco last night, and knowing JV is on the horizon of return. What do the Astros do? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and peace out. Go Astros.